How are you guys doing today? My name is Wes. I am from Blackfire Pass. Today we're going to be showing you how to make Amtgard arrows. Your finished product should look something like this. Should be Amtgard legal. Today we're going to be following the V8 rulebook. So starting off, the first thing I would definitely suggest you do is, if you haven't already, download this rulebook. Go over the general rules of weapon making, and for today we're going to be going to arrows. So arrows can be found there for the ammunition. Today we're going to be doing carbon fiber. I would suggest that if you haven't already, go out and get some carbon fiber. It's more durable than aluminum or any of the other arrow tips that they have out there. The second thing is take a look at the specs that you need for the head of the arrow. So today we're going to be following exactly what the specs are. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, there's a few items you'll need offhand first. It would help you out in the long run. Get yourself a good pair of duct tape. I use Gorilla Tape. So next thing is get some electrical tape. Packaging tape has any weapons, it comes in handy. Then for the tip of your arrow, you might want to go look at Hobby Lobby for some of these smiley balls. They are foam. They're really good. If you cut them in half, they are exactly 2.5 inches. So that makes them legal. Foam noodles, the fun noodles, you can just make sure that you get the 2.5 diameter ones. Now there's other ways you can make arrowheads. One way would be a seat cushion, such as this one right here. This is cut by 3 to 2.5 inches. So, and then make sure that you have a penny. So we're going to start off with the penny first. So for the arrow tip, what we have to do is take off about 1 inch of the duct tape. What you're going to do is place it on, then roll it up. Alright, we have completed rolling this thing, duct tape around the head of the shaft. So the next thing we're going to do is going to take the penny, and that's one thing you want to do, is make sure that the amount of rows that you put on there is the size of a penny, because that's the next step we're going to do, is we're going to put the penny on top of the duct tape. Now notice it is attached, so that is actually a safety standard. You don't want the shaft of the arrow going past that point. So now we're just going to go ahead and attach it. Okay, so that's what the finish would look like. So the next thing we're going to do is with your foam noodle. This is the way I do it. Not everyone does it this way. That's fine. I really don't care how you do it. Just do it safely. I took some foam noodle and I cut about 2 inches off. So that's 2 inches that I'm going to use as the end of the tip. So, but the first thing we're going to do right now is we're going to go ahead and cone it out. Basically, I want it to come to almost a tip, leaving it at an angle. You can see right there, slanted. I'm using a razor blade. Find it a lot easier to cut with. Just make sure you don't cut yourself. So now when it comes to this part, I like to make sure it's nice, well, round cone looking. It's a lot easier to wrap it around the arrow afterwards. go ahead and get that placed on top. Flush it out like that, so it's nice and flush with the penny. And the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to put more duct tape on there. This is going to hold these two together. A lot of people like to use wet cement, DAP, or whatever. Duct tape works fine. This foam and this duct tape, this Gorilla Tape, actually hold on to each other. They bond very well. So if you tried to rip it apart right now, the duct tape will pull on the foam and probably pull it apart. So when you got it on there, keep it on there. Alright, so we got that. The next thing we're going to work is, for every arrowhead, you have to have 2 inches of foam from the arrow to the very tip of the shaft. So this is the tip of the shaft. I need 2 inches of foam here. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and cut some foam noodle. It is at 1 inch. Half of the ball, this ball right here that I cut in half, is exactly 1 inch. So this is actually my arrow tip. 2 inches and 2.5 inches wide. So we're gonna go ahead, and another thing that I like to do is, since I had to fill that in, I'm gonna make sure it doesn't come out at any point in time. Reinforce it, put more duct tape on. You're having a good day if you're putting duct tape on everything. So the arrow that we're building today is actually, it's a slender arrow. It follows the bare minimum rules and regulations for making arrows. Like I said, it needs to be 2.5 inches wide. It needs to be 2 inches of foam on top of the arrow. It needs to have the penny in the inside, and then a cloth cover. So we have this. So next thing we'll do is go ahead and get that attached. Alright, there's multiple ways you can try to do this. I like to do it step by step. So first I will attach the inch of foam, and then I'll attach the head. So for the arrow tip, since I don't want the impact when it hits someone to be harsh or hard, I'm going to use electrical tape, which is a lot thinner than the duct tape that I'm using right now. Put a cross on the front. That way it's got 4 corners that are sealed. So, alright, now we're going to be grabbing our electrical tape, and we're going to be wrapping it around, making the entire head into one piece. The electrical tape does a really good job at staying with the foam. Over the times that I've used it, isn't been rarely a time that it's came off by itself. So as you're wrapping around, kind of torque it a little, but not too much, because if you torque it too much, you're going to mess up with the diameter. So you're gonna probably have to rebuild your arrowhead. Now when it comes past the point where it starts a cone, go ahead and torque that down. Because what we want is where that penny is, well, is foam to form around it. So that's the arrowhead without the head cloth. Now, for the cloth that we're going to be using, I have a size 3 kid sock. These are actually perfect to fit on the 2.5 heads. So, I'm just going to go ahead and measure it out. And figure out where I want to get it cut. So, I'm going to cut it right there. The electrical tape, the duct tape, packing tape, you can get them at the dollar store, no problem. So, I'm gonna go ahead and put some electrical tape around it. Now, to make sure that the cloth does not come off at any point in time, you're gonna go ahead and tape around the cloth really tight, and then go underneath it. But don't put too much that it actually starts weighing down the arrow. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to label this arrow. So this is my arrow. So I will put West. And then I'm going to put the park that I'm from. Then you're going to grab your packing tape. So what we're going to do is, this is basically going to laminate it. Press that in there, like that. Grab our shaft. And just smoothly smooth that out on top of the arrow. Now, since they have a lot of duct tape out there, one thing that you might want to do is take a strip of duct tape and kind of put it uniquely wherever, like this. This is a green skull duct tape. I also have this reflective orange hunter's tape on there. So at any time if I do go out, I know exactly which one are my arrows. That way, you know, no one can really say that that's their arrow when it's obviously mine. Since their duct tape's starting to make a lot of random crap, probably can find your own unique one. Now, another thing to ensure that it is your arrow and that no one is trying to take it, or if you do lose it, people do bring it back to you, is putting your name right here, maybe the park you're from. So for this, I'm just gonna put my name. So that completely identified the arrow as mine. So that is the complete portion of creating a arrow for Amtgard. If you have any questions, please leave a post. Thank you.